our foot barefooted. Also very good right here where in the country. Many times when we wear these shoes, our cells in the feet, yeah, they suffer quite a big deal. Did you know that? You can take our children from the urban areas and you compare with the ones that are in the countryside. If they are to run in here, the ones from the urban areas will be struggling. But the ones that are used to this kind of thing, they're just zooming. So it's one of those things that are one of the benefits of being in the country, because okay, there isn't much garbage, glass, and people spitting and all that kind of thing. So do yourself a favor, walk barefooted. It's very, very essential. I am very encouraged with my students. Yesterday when we were in the garden, they decided, no, we're not going to go for the walking, but we'll rather go to the garden. They were true to duty. Yeah, apparently, because I thought they would just gather the organic matter, they went in an extra mile. They dug both the eco-circle as well as the door-sized bed. Okay, isn't that beautiful? I'm so glad to have students like you. I feel like I could stay longer. You did pretty very well. All right. Yesterday we did our Kasamba Wezi. Okay, and I asked you guys to stay it at least twice. And nobody remembered that. But okay, I'm of age. My memory is still excellent. So is also Solufero. Country living is excellent. It has made us, okay, the gray hairs are coming with what? With the wisdom. We've already done the steering ties, and it's promising to be out of this world. And I also asked you for some fruits. You've got various fruits that you're going to be adding. I don't know what you've done about that, but I did not see them in there. So that is, okay, my disappointment on that part. Okay. Sorry doesn't heal in my days. Okay. Let's do a recap. We'll start with particular on the industrial side of things. For now, leave the gardening alone. I don't mind you starting from the very first day, that was Monday, whatever you have picked up to yesterday. What did you pick? Nabanda, you are one of my brightest. What did you pick on the industrial side of things? Okay, while he's checking on his notes, but anything that we picked on how to do our own, there's a lot. We've covered quite some stuff now. Think globally, act locally, and I give you quite a number. For example, McDonald's, KFC, the Coca-Cola, you name them. I don't know who owns your Sobo here. Who is the owner of the Sobo? Southern Bottle. Who owns Southern Bottles? And Coca-Cola. Who owns Coca-Cola? I think the guy was what Pemberton, 18 something when he started off his thing. Guys, we cannot allow these people to continue to kill us as they are doing. We are here. Maheo. We all have Maheo. Who brews your Maheo here? Okay. We do have Jubogi. Okay, it was started in Zambia. Yeah, of course, it was started in Zambia, but it's like it's contaminating the whole of Southern Africa. Remember what I said? I think that was the first day when what I'm doing currently back home. Whenever I get an opportunity to check with our liberators, how can you allow people to brew maheo of all the things for yourself? You don't know how to brew that. You actually even do better without sugar. In fact, they learn from us. I believe they learned from our forefathers. They realized there's opportunity here. They took advantage. That's exactly what they did. Checked for recipe, and they also putting some objectionable things in there. One of the reasons we have got so much men's dysfunctional issues in Zimbabwe is Chibuku. How did I pick it? Some other guy, random guy, he was working at a farm in the 1970s. All right? And then the owners of the farm, they had a son. Okay? And they attempted to drink Chibuku. And he was given a heavy clap with the mother. Drinking Chibuku of all the things. And then he talked about the things, the objectionable things that they are putting only for the black what? For the black man. You guys, we need to be serious about who? About our lives. Let's go beyond what we are. And then you also want to save Africa. It's essential. I remember at the time with Gandhi, I studied quite some months with Gandhi. And then, okay, he was doing stuff for body care. And they wanted prune juice, right? Good one. With no sugar. Okay? And then they went to this company, okay, it's promising heaven on earth, and he found out they are putting sugar. Oh, why is people? Hey, no, this one we don't drink it. It's all targeted for the what? For the black community. And I can just say, okay, this is the thing that we are suffering from, because and if we cannot redeem ourselves, we are in deep what? We are in deep mess. That's one of the challenges of what? Of the black man. Yeah, but there are some who have dedicated not to eat anything. I love the Nigerians out there. Southern Africa, I think the contributing factor, Southern Africa, when we were colonized, it was about agriculture. And then we were tasked with the mandate of eating sadza, the white maize one, and as well as what? As wheat. Up there in the West, it was about oil. So relatively, they remained on their diet, right? So they are still peculiar about it. Currently, they are concentrated in South Africa, as far as Southern Africa is concerned. But they import their food. I will actually have even Nigerian restaurants.
They are my clients. I supply them. They are local food.
You see, that's one of the things. But for Zimbabwe, there's no Zimbabwean restaurant. You go there. Zimbabweans are eating, we're just eating anything. And then we talk of lifestyle diseases, non-communicable diseases. We are worse off in Southern Africa than we're down in the West. Why? Because we veered off from what food was to us. And who grows your wheat? Yeah, in Malawi? Yeah. Of course, we also have some farms probably that are also growing wheat. There's okay, and apparently one thing also, it's no longer the original grain, because the original grain is spelled. Okay, currently it's only these hybrids. As if that is not enough, they are chemicalized, the fertilizers and on. They are also post-harvest chemicals that they put in there. As if that is not enough, they also take away the brand, take away the gem as well. We must come to a point where we define what food is to us as a people. We are recapping on the industrial side of things. There's one thing that I really want to add as well today, but we are recapping. Yes, Tulu. Powerful. Where is the lady who pointed at it? Thank you. Yesterday, yes. Many times that's the thing, is because we have got very much low self-esteem. So whatever we make, it must be inferior, and we portray it also to be very, very superior. We would not become circumspect about our products. Our products must be so superior that we intimidate Coca-Cola. When they see us, Coca-Cola must begin to shudder. Because, okay, we've talked of Kasamba, it's going to be fizzing as their Coca-Cola, but this one now has its medicinal properties in it. And then we must package it. I think I'm going to post my packaging of Kasamba on the group. Never let anyone make you feel inferior. We are God's creation. I'm very proud to be, who I am. God's creation. Our things are superior. Yes, yes. Okay, when the bees do whatever they are doing there, yeah, of course, they also deposit enzyme because when they collect the nectar or the pollen, the flower already has what? Has those enzymes. Okay, it also adds its own what? Its own enzymes as well to the what? The bee. So yes, that's the reason why we should not cook or boil honey. And much of the honey that you get in the shops is what is cooked. For me, that's the adulteration of what of the. And even in the UK, you can actually sell honey to UK if it's not pasteurized. But pasteurization just simply means what? Killing it. Like it will remain sweet, of course, but because we have said the bees are keeping their hives at 40 degrees Celsius come summer, come winter. If you heat your hand to over 40 degrees Celsius, you are killing its nutritive value and medicinal properties. Is there anything else that, yes, Gilbert? Wow. Isn't that powerful? What's your goal? 100 years. We are now talking of generational wealth. Okay, it's actually a biblical principle. The good fathers will leave inheritance for their grandchildren. By the time you go to your grandchildren, your plan is already 100 years. So that's very, very essential. Is there anything else that we picked from the industrial side of things? Yes? Okay.
Pure, pure. Yeah, they would use term raw, pure, original.
Okay, generally here our wild is honey. Our wild is raw. Our honey is organic because many times if you look at the nature that is in here, okay. So when we process it, we are not boiling it. That makes it what makes it because we just put it on the sieve and it what and it drips. So don't be fooled with what with the terminologies. Yeah, sometimes when they are talking of raw honey, they are talking of the combs, the honey that is not what that is not processed, and that one sells also quite. It's actually even expensive than the what than the processed one. So if you can get to a point where you say, okay, you have got your honey, and then just cut small combs, you panate them pretty very well, and then give it to sell. Yes, it sells pretty very very much. Usually when they are talking of raw honey, they are saying, okay, you did not press it from where from the somewhere. I enjoy just chewing the comb itself. Okay, you had your hand.
No, no, I just want to also just add to that. Sometimes also client doesn't know because remember this guy they don't even know what honey is. They don't even know what fake honey looks like. They don't even know that the honey comes in different varieties. They don't even know that.
That's very
So
true.
so sometimes it's them lack of information because they don't know. So we need to master it. When you master it, you explain to them. They'll be like, oh, okay. So this is what you meant. Because they might be saying wild honey and they don't even know what they're talking about. They don't even know what's the meaning of that.
All right.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Sorry, I labeled my honey wild, and the reason being is because the area that I am, I've got different pollen. So then that way, sometimes I just make it mud floor. It's more like mud floor because
Yeah,
it
yeah.
comes from different
Or
flowers.
different flowers. Yeah.
So those things, if somebody who does not understand what it means will be like, I think this is not raw honey. So they don't even know what it means. So I think they need also to have the room to understand these things. How does it work and all that? If they don't, that's why we are there now as a producer to let them know, give them information so that when they are going, and I promise you to add value to your clients. When you give them information, they'll like what you are saying, when they realize you know what you are doing, they'll trust you. They'll trust you. It's more like you give them trust that when they are getting a product, you are giving a product that you're 100% sure of what you are doing. But if you don't know what you're doing, the clients can pick up. Ah, no, I think it's not serious. So where's the pickup? Pick it up.
Yeah, that's very true. That's the missionary part comes in now, in for you to know your product and to educate your clients is essential. In business, we make more money with the relationships than with money itself. Okay, if I am related to Baloy, I know his product, I know he's knowledgeable. There could be a lot of people who are selling honey. Okay, but I will look for what. Yeah, even if it's the quantity and quality are just equal, I will look for. It's the relationship that I'm looking for. In back home, I've got one gentleman, is elderly. He has got good honey, but he also has a nursery. So he grafts the trees. I also buy trees in there. So I referred a certain couple to the old man. So they bought a lot of trees, and the old man was actually very impressed, and he gave them this combed honey. Okay, no, they were very happy. The guy was, when they were driving, so the guy said, no, what good honey. No, I'm going to enjoy it. And the lady's like, Mhizha is delivering our honey tomorrow. Why was it like that? It's the relationship. My jar of that combed honey, okay, I've got, it's like a 2 liter a jar, the four corner one from Console. Okay, I just have some 3 combs in there, $30. And then she's quite thrilled. No, Mhizha is delivering our honey tomorrow. What's there? It's the relationship. So in business, it's about relationships. Let that sink. Even in life, we solve more problems with the relationships than with money. Did you know that? Are you sure you knew that? Yes, we solve more problems with the relationships than with money. Okay.
Yeah.
A team, I've seen your hand. A team that works together reaches there faster. Did you get that? Yeah, I remember there's another guy who gave you, I think there were some college students, I don't remember where they were, was it in Gambia or something, and he gave the analogy of Usain Bolt. He had a world record. But when they ran a relay, the 4x4 relay, they were faster by about, I don't remember the seconds, but they were faster. And like when he ran on his own. So when we come together and we get there faster. Can you imagine if Martin Mandula would have said, okay, I'm going to organize the camp, I'm going to teach them about organic garden. He knows how the organic garden that we are teaching. Okay, I'm going to teach them about medical missionary work, I'm going to do the cooking. By now he would have collapsed. But we have joined hands. Sometimes I'm actually even foggy. I can manage to go and rest a little bit. So while somebody is doing the what? Is doing the work. We need to come to a point where we must come together. It's one thing that I actually even wanted to talk about. Yes, sir. Your name again? Mwenda. Kumwenda. Oh, Mwenda. Kumwenda. Kumwenda. What's the meaning of Kumwenda? Okay, wandering wanderer. Okay, that's Kumwenda. Okay, sir. Yeah. Yes. Pollination, yes. Yes. They're just friendly. Yeah. Adrenaline. Yes. And also, if you try to kill them, they'll sting you. And apparently, when a bee stings you, automatically it's going to die. It will not live again. So be merciful. Already they are not living. Their lifespan is also what is also very short. The worker bees 4 to 6 weeks. They are what they are gone. So let's be friend with them. Is there anything else that we have picked? I want to go into another industry, but this is going to be very theoretical. But I want to really press on it. Is there anyone with burning anything as far as our recap is concerned? Okay, now that's fine. One of the industries that we, the people that are gathered here, is clothing. We do not know how to clothe ourselves. And I'm using we purposely, myself included in this. You heard me correctly. The industry that we must propagate and very urgently is what? The clothing industry. We don't know how to dress. Can somebody read Deuteronomy 22, verse 11? Thou shalt not wear garments of diverse sorts, as of woolen and linen together. I'm going to post 22 verse 11. I'll post a video of somebody who really, a doctor who actually put it well, nailed it well. These garments, they come with frequencies. I'm wearing here linen, and this is cotton. This is what the Bible is what? Is talking about. We have been so much Britishnized that we don't know how to do, because Southern Africa, we are dressing the British way. I respect Western Africa. Yeah, it could be something top, but the same material as well on the what? On the bottom. These clothes, they come in hospitals. You are using linen. Why are you using linen? It's actually having a healing effect. Its frequency is at 5,000. Same is cotton at 5,000. If I wear them, like I've mixed them there, they cancel each other. 0. So, yeah, like energy frequencies at 5,000. I'm going to post a video that is well, it was actually done by sometimes, because some time ago when we were, it's so bizarre. What is God trying to tell? So he's actually even specified, no, you cannot put woolen, silk and linen to what? To do together to make a what? To make a garment. We do not know how to dress. I was talking to Mrs. Mandula this morning, just planting this seed, because she also does clothing. I remember the last time I met them so many years ago, she did dresses for my daughters. She knows her stuff. So I was just asking her, are you thinking, considering having to teach on a very serious note that they come out of this place gurus as far as our attire is what attire is concerned? It's an industry on what? On its own. I wonder whom I must pick on. Let me pick on Clemens. We don't know how to dress. I wish, okay, you come as well. Clemens, you can come. No, don't worry, you are well dressed. And he's not well dressed. All right. You see, this is how he is dressed. Of course, we talked about the material. The material already difficult. Don't worry. If also, many times in our churches, when you talk about it, it's like it becomes like a woman's thing. It's only targeted on what they are wearing, miniskirts and whatnot. But if you can approach it on a physiological level, everybody will be what? will be happy. So I'm addressing just only physiology, never mind the material. I've talked about what the material, I'm also wearing wrongly material wise. Physiologically, if you're working in a hospital and you want to work on his hand and you don't want blood in there, what do? You create a tourniquet in here, all right? Or you can put the hand in what? In eyes, so that blood, when you put, okay, when he does hydrotherapy, you are going to actually get to know much about that. So he's wearing like that. Where on the hood, where there is clothing there, it's warm, right? And generally when you put warmth in there, blood will come to where? To that area, okay? So blood will begin to pool on the hood. But now, your nutrients, the oxygen, or this go as far as these extremes. What would then happen to the heart? The heart is now forced to raise pressure in order for everything, the blood flow, to go to where? To the extremes. Okay, you can be seated generally. Okay, relatively this one is dressed well, but okay, the material thing, okay, that's a different subject. But generally, if we could address, you can be seated. Okay. If we could address our dress code physiologically, the women will not be crying for. They will actually even know themselves that, okay, for my blood to circulate, life is where? Is in the blood. For my blood to circulate well, my clothing should be what? Should be balanced, right up to well covered. Look at the Arabs in the sweltering desert. Have you ever seen them in bikinis? Like, okay, the other ones would do. They just know the kind of material to wear when it's what, heavier material, rather lighter material and lighter colors as well. When it's winter, they covered head to toe, but they just perspire in there. But their blood circulation is what is equalized. So that's an industry in itself. I wish my Ndula was here. I've already planted the seed. I want you guys to think it awesomely, so that at least we should be able to know how to dress ourselves. It's essential. I'm now talking the point that he raised, why we should come together. The other day I talked about the men's retreat that we run in Zimbabwe. It's a secular one, okay? It's not church related, okay? Last year we decided for products and services, we are going to be looking them amongst ourselves. If you are a mechanic, our cars will be serviced by. We want a proper service and everything is well done. When you are doing clothing, yes, okay, you're running a restaurant, our whatever needs. Only when there is nobody with the services or products within, I'm saying, then we go outside. The Jews too. Yeah, the man secrets maybe 12 times amongst them before it goes what? And you wonder why they are running the world. Is it possible that we can do that here? Are we sure? So, let you crank your heads. Okay, I'll be back in Zimbabwe, but I'll be happy somebody can be just putting Malawi rice on the bus there. I love the Malawi rice. Let's come to a point where we are saying, okay, we make it a reality as far as whatever we are doing. If you are buying anything from Tadala, please don't be stingy. Give it at the value it is. We don't want people who come and negotiate. I'm a missionary and no. Let business be business. Isn't that fair? No, it may not be necessarily more, but yeah, that's fine. Let necessarily be more, but let's have the value of those things. How about that? And then when they also come to you, they are paying the value of what? Of whatever product or service that you have. In that way, we begin to support each other. And we will know, okay, when you are saying we are going for a camp, no, it's our camp. And many times we won't struggle. One of those things that you may actually want to do, like when you finish off this camp, you can also know, no, guys, we are now members of the country living conference. Then, how about we start contributing some monies towards the next camp? And apparently we can actually start some business out of that money. Most probably by the time the next camp come, you are not worried how you are going to transport Joseph Mhizha, how you are going to transport Chaipa, how you are going to transport Owen from Zambia. Because the resources are what? Ladies and gentlemen, God has given us the minds to work. He doesn't need to come and do miracles again. The miracle has already been what? Has already been done. So it's essential that we establish the businesses for ourselves. Let them benefit us, and then we can actually now start helping others. Rehem, are you there? We can start helping others simply because we've seen it amongst ourselves. Many times when you go out there, you know, when you are here, we get so much cushioned because we are talking the same language. Even our children, they're like, okay, we are not so queer. We are not the strange one. But when you go out there, you are what? You are on your own. But if we can keep in touch, thank God there's a lot of things that is can keep us together in internet and our cell phones and everything. And then we begin to circulate our what? Our resources, our finances, our wealth amongst ourselves. We can quickly boost each other till we get there. In that way, we can actually be able to say, okay, we are raising a people, a generation that can actually now liberate Africa. For the past 2 days, I was talking with Martin. I was just been wondering. I still don't have an answer for now. Why? It's kind of a reunion for me. I've met Martin many years ago. I'm telling you, okay, that's the same also at their place, Salima. The Chaipas, okay, we last met in December. There's Maimutema as well. Why are we meeting here? I don't have the answer as yet. But for the past 2 days now, it's bugging my mind. I don't have the answer. I'm just asking, why specifically did we have to come and meet again at this moment in time? It's essential that our industry start thriving. Ever since we met, we're talking about country living. How far have we? It's been years, Martin. But something is happening, and I don't know what it is now. It's still in the air. For the past 2 days, that has been stuck on me. Let our industry grow. How many are we picking the challenge of the clothing? How many of us here are tailors, if I may ask? I don't know is there a difference? Okay, yes. Okay, tailors or dressmakers, yeah. How many of us here are tailors or dressmakers? Okay, all right. There's need for that as a matter of what? I'm also considering to start learning it as well. Because in as much I can I get material, but I'm depending on people who are not even within my within my circle to make sure they are tailor-made for me. That's very, very essential. One of the things that I've also guilty of is not knowing how to dress. In a matter of physiology part side, I've also addressed the material part. Are we happy? Okay, today I was going to do some tonic, but not on a medicinal side of things, as Chaipa would put it, but on the business side of things. I really want to give you the rest, so I'm sure tomorrow we'll be having the ingredients for that tonic. And you can, if in my side, I call it Vitality Tonic. Some call it Detox Juice back home. You can actually even use it as a starter on your meals. Is one thing that we can actually capitalize. We'll make it, and then you can go and broadcast, give it a superior name, and then we can actually be selling it as well. So let me go to the beekeeping. Just adding more flesh. Like I said, I'm going to be measuring much on the beekeeping as the what do we remember as far as the beekeeping is concerned? It's another industry, but what do we remember? What do we remember? Okay? Yeah, it's called also in agronomy terms apiculture. Apis, api. There are two words that have been combined together. So api, when you hear of apiculture, right? Api bees and culture cultivation. So right, and I've already told you from the first, I prefer bee farming than beekeeping because the farming has got the connotation of business. You can just keep them for a hobby, for your honey, but the farming element is the element of what? The element of business. That's very, very essential. So I want us to make that differentiations. A place where we keep bees, what is it called? Apiary. So we talked about that one. And then what are the benefits of bee farming? We talked about them already. Yes. Helps in pollination. Yes, the most efficient pollinator. What else? We get honey, we got wax. What else do we get? Okay, yes, because they don't want noise, eh? All right, so yeah, they can keep our homes very, very peaceful. When you are starting beekeeping, the initial demand for capital is low. Did you hear that? The initial demand for capital is what? Is very low. Like, okay, we already talked, okay, what you are going to be needing, a hive. And we said, how much is the hive going? 75,000 a head?
75, yeah.
Okay, how much is that if you put it in US dollars?
It's around, isn't around, it's not much though.
Oh, hmm?
It should be around 20. Let's put 20.
Okay, that's fine. But do we have any carpenters in here? Do we have any carpenters around us? Are there no carpenters at all? Yeah, I think one of those things you must consider is carpentry, so that you can actually just be making the hives for yourselves. Okay, so it will make apparently life very, very easy when you are making the bees. For why not have actually even an industry of making the hives as well? You've got so many people. All of us are going to be keeping some bees one way or the other, be they just for family consumption or if not for business. So there's an industry. I'm opening industries for you people. Yeah, you've got customers already. I'll give the dimensions of the Kenyan Top Bar on our group. Somebody must just pick it up. I want really nice ones, Mhizha ones, and then we get what? We get going. How many eyes does a bee have? Yeah. Apparently, we've got five. Eventually, the nectar is deposited into the comb. Have you ever seen a comb? You know the cells of how many sides does it have? Yeah? 6 equal sides. I'm always marveling. How do they know now? Okay, this side is okay, and this side is okay, and this side is okay. 6 equal sides. They know mathematics. That's a good one. That's for me. That's a marvel. If we could work as bees, like I said the other day, there wouldn't be commotion. We would be campaigning to be voted into power and all those things, and then we would begin to promise shoes. I'm going to buy you, all of you, shoes, and when I'm in power, you guys, can you be serious? How can I buy for the whole country shoes? Bees work in harmony, okay? And then there's a process or a method that is called festooning. When they're building the cells, they attach themselves to their legs together. And then, where's the wax coming from? Right from there. Have you ever seen a spider making the web? Where does the material come from? From its body. That's exactly what the bees also do. It's coming from what? From their bodies, and make the comb. 6 sides, equal sides. All right. Very, very marvelous. If bees can apparently do this, why not us as human beings? And we say, okay, we are the superior human creation. We're created in the image of God. Many times I see ourselves, we are no longer superior. We have been given dominion, but I think nature has taken dominion over us because they do their things apparently very, very well. The beehive is so clean. You heard me correctly. It's so what? Beetles can go in there. And how do they deal with the bees? How will the bees deal with it? Actually, snakes as well. Small snakes can now actually slither in there. But they can just be killed. And they will be embalmed with propolis. Propolis, we know propolis? Yeah, it's one of the substances, that thick, sticky substance. It's good for embalming. If you go to the Egyptian pyramids, all the mummies that you see, they are embalmed in what? In propolis. And this is exactly how the bees also deal with the invaders that may come into what? Into, it's apparently very, you never see a dead bee in a hive, unless you are the one who killed it. When they are mature, they are grown up, they know, and I'm about to die, they don't go back to the hive to sleep there. They sleep where? At the flowers. If they don't not die overnight, they resume their duties. Isn't that wonderful? Right. They don't want to burden any other bees to be taking them out of what? Out of the hives. This is how bees work. We have already said the queen, which is the biggest bee as in size. It also has short wings. All right? Is the one that controls the what? The hive. By way of communication. They use scents, smells, known as pheromone. Okay, this hive is now too hot. You guys, you must fan the hive. And it's targeted to specific bees. And they must what? They must fan the hive. No, this is too cold. Okay, you see them crunching together to generate what? To generate heat. To maintain 40 degrees Celsius. Isn't that marvelous? Why can't we come together to help each other stay warm in our country living, in our medical missionary work, in our everything that we do as human beings? If bees can do it, why can we not do it? The worker bees, I have said, they are all females. Okay? Yeah. So if you see them flying around, you know, they are what? They are worker bees. And they work a very specific duties that they what? That they do. So whenever they are born, and then they know their specific duty. If the one is for collecting nectar, they are collecting nectar. There are those that are dedicated to washing the queen, they wash the queen. There are those dedicated to collect water, they collect water, nectar, pollen, and all that. In the hive, you're also going to see there's also pollen. Okay? Pollen is food for the young ones of the what? Of the bees. You know, they start off with as eggs, and then they hatch into what? Into larvae. And then their food is what? Pollen. And for those of us who have enjoyed pollen, it's bitterish. But it's very, very nutritious, very, very concentrated nutrition in there. We actually also even use it in our centers for our invalids, the elderly. Pollen is concentrated what? Concentrated food is very, very nutritious. So there are worker bees that are concerned with the feeding of what? Of the young ones. And they use what? They use pollen. The honey that we are robbing the bees and enjoying ourselves is food for the worker bees and of course the drones as well in the time of weather difficulties. So we harvest largely as we go into winter. They would have made their honey for winter, as well as we go into summer when the rains are about to come. They would have made their food for that time because the weather conditions won't be allowing them to go to their nectars, and they will be limited to be in the hive. So when we harvest, don't take everything. We recommend that you leave it 25% for the bees also to thrive. Many times if you take everything, they can abscond. Okay? So when you harvest, you just know, okay, right, at least 25% I leave. On the KTB hive, probably when you harvest, you can actually get maybe some 15 kgs. When you are dealing with honey, even if it's liquid, we're talking of it in kgs, in weight rather than volume. Hello? You got that? Okay, so when you harvest, the wax will be 25%. So, your 15 kgs, wax is what? Wax is 25%. I'm going to recap what you need for you to start the apiary business. Starting point, let's start off. If you are thinking of business, let's start off at least 10 hives. Okay? And you build what? You build from there. I don't have a problem with you starting with one and enjoy it as a family. It actually even motivates you. For me, for 4 years, I wasn't into business. But okay, my hives are the Langstroth one. Okay, very, very, okay. If they are the Mercedes, if you're talking about cars. But for 4 years, I just had one hive. And I said, okay, this is a family hive. Okay, when I harvested, even my siblings, they also get. I said, okay, this is actually a good one. And then, like I said, as you are maturing, as you are getting old, this is one of the business that you may want to venture into because the bees do everything for you. How about that? It is excellent. So, okay, there are a number of products also. We talked about value addition. We've already started our value addition with the drink. We could start making candles. This is what I'm going to be experimenting on probably when I get home. I had a friend who was in the UK. Probably I'm expecting around the 7th. I've asked them to get me some molds where I can just start molding the candles from what? From beeswax. It's vital that okay, we can just run and worm our way out. Right? Is there any questions as far as bee farming is concerned as an industry? Okay, I'll start with you, Gilbert. Yeah, you are saying apparently there is fake honey that is being made according to what he is saying. Not yet here in Africa, but there's something of that sort that is already happening, having to collect the nectar, add enzymes in there. Yes, something that's already, but I don't want to go that. I want to leave bees with what they do. Like I said, okay, they collect the nectar into their stomach, add some enzymes into, they give it to another bee, okay? Probably by the fourth bee, it then deposited into the comb. And then they leave it in there. When the comb is full, it's then what is then kept, okay? For maturity, when you're harvesting, if the comb is not kept, is not closed, you don't harvest. That honey is not yet mature. When honey is mature, you find the comb is what is well sealed. In kept honey, the water content, when you check the water content, should be between 17 and 19. Some are recommended, they say up to 21, but 17 to 19 is the best honey. That honey will not ferment. If you harvest it before it is kept, you've got a problem. That honey, it will be having much more water and it can ferment. Okay. Are you satisfied? Okay. Solufele and then Baloy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we are on the group. I think as we go along, we want to be sharing the recipes and okay, probably in Martin. When did you last met? Yeah, you. No, no, no. Oh, no, no. The other year when I came to Malawi, when was it? Yeah, okay. Let me ask you this one. When you planned your program, when was it? What year was that? How many years now? More than 10 years. Okay, I'm preparing to come back again in more than 10 years. So please, let's be sharing the recipe and then we'll be enjoying. How about that? Yeah, what I'm just trying, the emphasis is not me coming back after more than 10 years, but okay, let's keep ourselves together engaged so that at least this industry can start. Okay, probably if you just say, okay, I melt the wax and put the wick there, the candle may not really burn as I've just been reading on that. You may need to add some coconut oil there for it to burn properly. Those are the things that we can actually be helping one another henceforth. Okay. All right. Now, Baloy.
No, 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 I wanted just to check. I'm not quite sure if you touched on the baking part, but then the other part that I would want us to just to encourage members also, the saints as well, is I have realized that beekeeping is one of the easiest farming that one can start with, and if there is one that is willing, please don't hesitate. So the easiest way to do is like he was asking, is there anyone who is a carpenter here? None of us were carpenters, but I think the best is just buy timber. That's what I do. I don't really rely on the guys who are doing commercial because it turns out to be very expensive. So always think of how you can cut the cost. Always, always, not just once, but always. So what I do is I normally buy timber. As I'm talking already, I've already stocked a lot of timber that is ready for hives. And then for a start, what I did was to look for any carpenter. If you take it to any carpenter, as long as you have all you need is just the
The
measurement.
measurements. Uh-huh.
If you have the measurement, any carpenter will do the work perfectly. All they need is just a measurement, and obviously you guide them what you want them to do. So that way, I promise you, it's way way cheaper. It doesn't even. Last year when I was making it, was around the whole cost with everything else just to for me to be ready to install. I think it was around 20 to 25 somewhere there. That means everything else ready to install. And then when I worked out this year, I used the same system, and it works out about just because of some of the stuff are now the prices are a bit high, so it works out about around 30. So that is including the timber. You talk of nails. You talk of I use the net on top of. I mean, what do you call this? The sheet, iron sheet that you put on to cover your hive. So everything else, when I work out to pay hive, it works at around 30. So if you, for instance, yeah, you're a beginner, obviously, you don't want to start with much. No, that's too even too far. You don't have to start when you're starting. Don't start too big. Start small. If you cannot start small, rather start smaller.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right.
So where the point where I'm driving into now is, if you realize now, it's much easier that way. Start with very few, and it will be very easy to manage. The other point that I wanted to also highlight was harvesting. We have very good farmers that are harvesting a lot of honey in Malawi. The biggest problem is harvesting skills. That's where many farmers are actually failing, and we cannot really target the international market. So we need to have very good skills in terms of grading the honey. Grading the honey is one of the biggest issues that. So I'm assuming it could be what you mentioned earlier on, that our target is not really to do on a serious scale. So we're targeting only like now just bottling itself. We didn't ever think of, but if you target if you are targeting the international market, you have to think think of branding. You think of now bottling it. Now you think of so all these processes. The first step is grading, because if you mess up on grading, you won't be able to meet that market demand.
Okay, thank you for that. I think I will be putting much flesh to it tomorrow, the harvesting part. I want us to visit the hive that is here. Okay? No noise, no smelling sweat, no heavy perfumes. Okay? You will not be stung. I won't take you very near it. Okay? So before I go there, I just want to do my theory for the agriculture side, and then when I will just come from the business straight away to the practical for the garden. Are we all happy with that? The eco-circle, it was actually started by some professor in Venezuela. You know, Venezuela is like almost like third country, let's say, but okay, our skin is just different. Their skin is what? Their skin is lighter. And probably they also have some challenges with water as well. I see Martin is blessed with water this side. Most probably, I don't know, for those who are in Longwe, if you are depending on city council water, the eco-circles are the right side of things that you want to, because that kind of gardening is water-wise. He ended up doing it on a commercial scale. Because when you have prepared your bed, the way we are teaching you how to prepare it, eventually you are going to be needing only 2 liters of water in that circle per week, most probably in the heat of October heat. So for those who have got water challenge, that is the kind of gardening too. Right. Do we have our board boxes ready, say? The cardboard boxes? Are they, do you have any? Okay, please. So those are some of the things that you may want to do. And starting small, like I said, is very, very essential, because when you get all the motivations, or okay, no, it can be done, then you can go to the macro scale. But Langham, right? I think Donald Langham, yes, from the professor started it off in Venezuela. So you are going to need, I think he's organizing a 2-liter bottle. Yeah, you could use those, your sober bottles. When they're throwing them away, you could actually be getting them for the eco-circles. Okay? All right? On the water bottle, right, it's a 2 liter. Let's assume this one is a 2 liters. Usually they've got a rim at the top and a rim at the base. You put holes, like needle holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 the other side. 4 sides. And then you use that as what? As you actually going to put it in the eco circle for irrigation purposes. But as we gather everything, because we're not going to be putting the organic matter, the manures and everything, they must also go through water. So we are going to need a lot of water in there. So the younger ones, you, where is my group, the basins that they're using outside, we are going to need them by the garden. So when we are traveling with others to the beehives, you go get the basins that they're using for bathing, and then, we'll need them. And then some buckets also, we could just be getting some water by the stream. As many as they are, because we're going to need quite some water preparing. Because we want that circle to be very spongy, because we are gathering the organic matter in there, and then we're also trapping air in there. So that's very, very vital. So that, let me read again, you know, that quotation from Ministry of Healing, work for Christian farmers. I think you are going to begin to understand how it was so cumbersome, why we are asking you to dig as we have done on the door-sized bed as well as the eco-circle. Work for Christian farmers. Christian farmers can do real missionary work in helping the poor find the homes on the land, and in teaching them how to till the soil and make it productive. Teach them how to use the implements of agriculture, how to cultivate various crops, not only maize, not only cabbage, but how many? Various. I've already told you there are over 400,000 edible plants. If I assess you right now, the campus that we are here, probably you're under 10. Yeah, you're gonna. If I ask you what do you have for breakfast, you want to tell me bread and tea. What do you have for lunch? Nsima and cabbage. What do you have for lunch? Probably the same thing that you have at lunch is the same thing that you have at what? Out of 400,000 edible plants, why are we limiting ourselves? It's actually apparently tailor-made. Because if you check the food pyramid, at the base, there are so much, what? Carbohydrates. They actually even say 6 to 11 servings of carbohydrates. What the hell is that? It was apparently tailor-made that the farmers, when they crafted it, it was actually in America that they can benefit, because these are the people who are growing the corn, they are growing the rice, they are growing the oats, they are growing. So their farmers would what? Would benefit out of what? What do you get from carbohydrates? Energy. All right. Yeah, of course, yeah. Because when we talk of food, we talked about food, isn't it? Yeah, that we need food, and the plants also need what? Need food. On the groups of foods, we've got carbohydrates. What else do we have? Protein. What else do we have? Vitamins. What else do we have? Yeah, essential fatty acids, oils. What else do you have? Minerals. Okay. I've already said the carbohydrates are for energy. Where do we get our carbohydrates from? All the legumes. That's the one we are calling starch and whatnot, whatnot. All the grains. All right. All the pumpkin family as well. All the tubers, as well, the potato family, we also get our carbohydrates. But why are you nsima in, nsima out on a day-to-day basis? Apparently, we also get these carbohydrates from fruits. Carbohydrate is what? Sugar, isn't it? At the end of the day, when you eat a fruit, what's the sweet in? And apparently, the carbohydrates from the fruits, they are easier to digest than the ones that we get from the grains. Usually, after eating so much of the grains, we're feeling foggy. Unlike when you eat fruits. Isn't that so? Yeah, because they actually take a lot of energy to digest them. Unlike what? Unlike fruits. Right? And then we said protein. Where do you get our protein from? Which legumes do you love? Okay, lentils, beans. You? No, don't worry. We are many. You? Okay, and you? Chickpeas are your best. Okay, yours? Beans. Okay. Yeah, don't forget to say meat. Don't be shy. Okay. Okay, chicken and all others. But let me look at our teeth. Do they look like a lion's or a dog's, or they don't look like that? Okay. Okay. I'm just trying to drive my point. We are not designed to eat meat. Are you still in school? You go to school. You do sports in school. I mean, but the schools are doing sports. Okay, can you come here? Let's assume it's the first term. Usually the running is on the first term. Okay? On your marks. Can you go on your marks? You want to run? Is that how you go on your marks? Can somebody know? Yeah. Who knows how to go on your marks? Do you know? Okay, but this leg is actually even also. All right. Okay, you can be seated. Why do we go on your marks? That's the best position for acceleration. You check the animals that eat other animals. That's their permanent position. Because they depend on speed in order to eat. For me, I am upright. I don't need to be on that position. Because my food does not run away. That's laughable, but that's what it is. I'm not dependent upon speed in order to in order to eat. I'm talking about here protein. We have to eat. That's where we are. That's the way the subject is. And you check our teeth. You've already alluded. No, they are not like but we have given ourselves a senium. We can eat meat, and then we can also eat vegetables, and we have called ourselves omnivores. But it was not apparently God's plan. Of course, yes. Genesis 1 verse 29, God gave us what? The nuts, the tree, the fruits, and seeds. Okay? There were no vegetables there. Genesis 3:18, the vegetables are what? Are added. Genesis 9, Noah's time, flesh is added. But on condition. No fat, no what? No blood. Later on, they are coming from what? From Egypt. Okay? What does God introduce them to? Why did God give the children of Israel manna? Profound question. Why did God? Why did he? Can you open the verse? Can you open the verse? It's Exodus chapter 16 actually. Yeah, Exodus chapter 16. Verse 4. Listen. They shall gather a certain rate every day. That so please, I want us to understand that when he gave the manna, it's not because there was no food. They actually get out of Egypt with the cows, with the whatever they could get out of what? Out of Egypt. But I'm giving you manna to prove you whether you keep my commandments or not. And then you are going to go get a certain rate. For this day, what did they do? They went and get too much. And what did he do? It was rotting. On preparation day, you get a double portion because on Sabbath it's not going to be there. What did they do? They went to look for it on the Sabbath. And it was not what? It was not there. Whenever God gives people a mission, he specifies their diet. You heard me correctly. Whenever God gives a people a mission, he does what? Specifies their diet. Let's come to us, Seventh-day Adventist. When were we organized to be a Seventh-day Adventist? 1863 at a conference, May 19 to 21. June 6. 19 to 21. How many weeks were it to get to June 6? June 6? Yeah? About 2 weeks. Ellen White got the first vision on what? On health. Why did God give us the health message? The light that God has been pleased to give and will continue to give is to us what manna was to the children of Israel. Councils on Diets and Foods, page 269. Why did God give us the health message? If you go back to what manna was to the children of Israel, he has specified our diet to prove us whether we will. The other benefits, he knew cancer is going to ravage the people, and we're just saying, oh, Joseph, don't eat meat. I don't want you to be heavy suffering from cancer. He knew all these tuberculosis are going to be what? He knew that the food industry is going to what? To be contaminated. He knew all that. And then, well in advance, he said, no, my children, don't eat that. But we only see the regulation. Don't. That is what we see. We tend not to see the benefits. It's like his commandment. Thou shalt not steal. What is God trying to say? Nobody should take your things without your consent. So, that must sink. It's unnatural for us to eat meat. I grew up eating meat. Okay? Even sacre, all sorts of, I am a grandson of a hunter. My maternal grandfather was a hunter. Every winter they will go to the Zambezi Valley with these white folks. Sometimes you actually dry the whole liver of a buffalo and say, no, this one is specific, and I'll eat it alone. My background is not, I'm still actually the only Seventh-day Adventist in the entire clan. But I'm the only one who was also tamed. I've eaten all sorts of what? All sorts of meat. But the benefits, if you look at me and then those who just remained on them, way younger than me, they are getting our health message is good news. It's there to what? To protect us. And if we adhere ourselves unto it, for certainly God is going to what? Is going to put his blessings upon us. Many times we do not have to pray for God's blessings. Did you know that? You just have to be at the right place, and you're only going to be thanking him for his blessings. If you are in the wrong place, you always want to be crying for God's blessings. But what you may just need to do is to go to the right place, and you're only going to be thanking him for what? For his blessings. So we're talking about protein. It's not natural for a human being to eat what? To eat. I used to eat it. Sometimes, I would do at home. My grandmother, the father, would also give me also my chickens. The day a visitor comes and mine is going to be slaughtered, not mine. We get so much attached to them. This is what God wants us, because he gave us the dominion to what? To take care. I don't know if you ever experienced that. When yours is the one that is on target, because there's so much attachment unto what? Unto it. This is God's what? God is ideal. If it's being slaughtered, if those who are still eating meat, sometimes they don't even want to see it being slaughtered. Why? Because the body refuses. That's not food. But if there be a lemon tree here, and we see a lemon that is ripe, sometimes we actually even begin to salivate. And the saliva is so tangy. Why? There is coordination. Because we eat with all our senses. Our senses will say, whoa, that's food. But that food is tangy. Let me produce the saliva that is what? That is prepared to get the lemon going down pretty very well. This is how, but we have busy killing all our senses. It's difficult for you to eat meat when it's raw. Because sometimes, you go to these broil, probably, whatever, it's well fed. Sometimes even the feathers are falling off. It passes in though. How many of us would salivate? I wish I should eat it. Nobody. Until it is conditioned. Do you wonder why all these eateries, their color is red? Conditioning us. We can only eat it when it is conditioned, and then it's getting spiced up. So we are on proteins. Our proteins. There is no lack of protein where in the world. Did you hear that? There's no lack of. Unless people are at war, literally they are not eating for weeks on ends. With that situation in South Sudan, Darfur region, sometime time because there was war, they are not literally eating because relatively there's no food that doesn't have protein. Our chef has demonstrated that if the vegetables are also carrying what? Also carrying protein. Protein is for us to what? To do what? To grow and to repair worn out tissues. So most of us who are already mature, we no longer need a lot of what? A lot of protein, because we need minimal protein for the repair of worn out tissues. Currently, the world is suffering from excess protein. A lot of renal failure, kidney problems are coming because there's too much what? Too much protein within us. Vitamins and minerals. I would wish we could switch the food pyramid and put vitamins and minerals at what? At the base. That is where they're coming from our fruits as well as our vegetables. True or false? We as human beings, we are the only species of animals that is eating cooked food voluntarily. Is that true or it's false? It's true. There is no any other animals that cooks. I think when our minds are not working well, we then cook for other animals. And we are the only species of animals that has got hospitals. And then the animals that we also feed, we even go to school and we call ourselves veterinarian so that we can treat the animals that we cook food for. An elephant that is just thriving in the bush, it lives out its lifespan with no problems unless you poison their water so that you can get their tasks. So we need more. Even Chef Owen has put it across unto us. We need much more of these raw foods. And I must emphasize the fruits and the vegetables, the beans and those ones be cooked as well as the carbohydrates. So our minerals and vitamins are largely coming from fruits and from vegetables. Then you talked of lipids. Essential fatty acids, they are largely coming from seeds. Okay, these nuts, sunflower seeds, sesame seeds, and all sorts of. So we need food. But okay, I'm talking of these in relation to our plants also needing what? Needing food. So this is how basically we must be operating. Does that make sense? You'll be happy not to eat a lot of food even if it's plant-based, because our need is basically just minimal. And like we are saying, even the fruits, they also carry some little bit amount of protein. Okay, these things are classified as protein foods because the concentration is what is protein. Is there anyone with a question? We need to be matching to Zion. Anyone with questions? Be it the bee side or the garden side. With that doubt, they are those cardboard boxes. We're carrying them. I think our tools are in there. We'll get you to use the whatever is available. Let's get going. Thank you so much.